Hello, everyone. Welcome to Read with Hadini podcast. Yes, I'm so excited today because we are starting a new book. Yes. We're starting a new book today. Yes, and on today's episode, before we dive in, I want to appreciate my listeners. I want to thank you so much for your support, for your concern, for your comments on the previous book we just finished reading, and that was Tales of Yoruba Gods and Heroes by Harold Kulanda. I am so grateful. Thank you for the support to my followers. Thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for listening. Thank you for checking up on me on the days I didn't publish a new episode. Thank you so much, and I'm so grateful. So, on today's episode, we're going to start a new book. Yes, a new book. And the title of this book is The Power of Self Discipline No Excuses by Brian Tracy. Yes, Brian Tracy wrote this book. It says 21 ways to achieve lasting happiness and success. I am so excited to start this book. If you have a soft copy or a hard copy in your archive or in your library, kindly bring them out so that we can have a wonderful time together. This book is divided into three parts, and the first part is titled Self Discipline and Personal Success. The second part is Self Discipline in Business, Sales, and Finances. And the third part is Self Discipline and the Good Life. We all want the good life, right? 2025 is our year. Now, the introduction, which we'll be starting today, says the miracle of self discipline. Wow, the miracle of self discipline. There is a quote here which I'm going to read by Mark Twain, which says, "There are a thousand excuses for failure, but never a good reason. There are a thousand excuses for failure, but never a good reason." So let's go into this introduction, right? Why are some people more successful than others? Why do some people make more money, live happier lives, and accomplish much more in the same number of years than the great majority? What is the real secret of success? Often I begin a seminar with a little exercise. I ask the audience, how many people here would like to double their income? Now this question took me back to January 2025. In my church where I worship, the theme for this year is a year of 1,000 times more. And I remember a particular service, the pastor was like, how many of you have imagined your income multiplied 1,000 times? We were so excited. We were surprised. Some of us were shocked because we never thought about it. Like, oh, the present income I'm earning now, I can have 1,000 times. So we brought out our phones and we did the multiplication. People were so surprised, and because it's the word in the house, we are hot tapping into it. So I can imagine the shock and the surprise or the excitement in the mind of these people when Brian Tracy asked them, how many people here would like to double their income? Almost everyone smiles and raises their hand. I then ask, how many people here would like to lose weight? I would like to lose weight. And my hands are raised. Get out of debt, achieve financial independence. Again, everyone smiles. Some people cheer and they all raise their hands. Then I say, wonderful. These are great goals that everyone has. We all want to make more money, spend more time with our families, be fit and trim, and achieve financial independence. Not only do we all want the same things, but we all know what we have to do to achieve them. And we all intend to do those things sometime. But before we get started, we decide that we need to take a little vacation to a wonderful fantasy place called Someday I'll. We say that someday I'll read that book. Someday I'll start that exercise program. Someday I'll upgrade my skills and earn more money. Someday I'll get my finances under control and get out of debt. Someday I'll do all those things that I know I need to do to achieve all my goals. Someday. Probably 80% of the population lives on someday high most of the time. They think and dream and fantasize about all the things they are going to do someday. And who are they surrounded by on Someday High? Other people on Someday High. And what is the chief topic of conversation on Someday High? Excuses. They all sit around and swap excuses for being on the highland. Why are you here? They asked each other. Not surprising, their excuses are largely the same. I didn't have a happy childhood. I didn't get a good education. I don't have any money. My boss is really critical. My marriage is no good. No one appreciates me. Or the economy is terrible. Hmm. I know we can relate with that, right? We have come down with the disease of excusitis, which is invariably fatal to success. They all have good intentions, but as everyone knows, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. The first rule of success is simple: vote yourself off the highland. Vote yourself off the highland. And that is what we are doing in this year 2025. No more excuses. Do it or don't do it. But don't make excuses. Stop using your incredible brain to think up elaborate rationalizations and justifications for not taking action. Do something, do anything, get on with it. Repeat to yourself, if it's to be, it's up to me. When I got to this page, to this part, it's 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 like a reminder to how I used to be, or how I'm getting better. I'm a work in progress, right? I always want somebody to encourage me. Oh, I look forward to being encouraged. I look forward to being supported. I look forward to being checked up on. Oh, okay, Omoshalewa, you said you're going to do this. How far are you doing it? Did you do anything today? Did you add one or two things to your list today? Have you been able to check up your list today? What did you do? I always look forward to it, and that has been my motivation. But I got to a point where, okay, what if there is nobody supporting me? What if there's nobody motivating me? What if what I'm even doing, people don't really know about it, or they don't even know how it's going to end up, or they don't even have an idea of how to support me? Will I put a stop to what I'm doing because I don't have people to support me? No. I'm not saying that people should not encourage us, or we should not have people in our close circles, or our close friends, or our relatives, or families that mean so much to us, that are supportive of whatever it is we're doing, whether we're in school, whether we are starting up a business, whether we just started a job. I'm not saying we should not have people that are supportive, but what if everybody is also going through their own life, right? Their own lives, right? What if they are not in that position? They are not in that situation, in that right frame of mind to support you or to lend you a hand. Won't you do what you're supposed to do? And that was the talk I had with myself, that okay, Omoshalewa, you don't need to wait around. You don't need to sit and wait. Oh, if nobody checks up on me, I'm not going to do this. If nobody encourage me, I'm not going to do this. No. Like Brian Tracy is saying this in this book, it says, if it's to be, it is up to you. So I told myself, Omoshalewa, this year 2025, it has to be up to you. Okay? Carry it and let others support you. Start, build, be on your way to it, and people that are meant to join you will join you. People that are meant to give you encouragement will come along. Don't wait and sit around for people to support you. Don't wait and sit around for people to say, oh, I'm checking up to see if you've done this or done that. No. Losers make excuses, winners make progress. Now, how can you tell if your favorite excuse is valid or not? It's simple. Look around and ask, is there anyone else who has my same excuse who is successful anyway? When you ask this question, if you are honest, you will have to admit that there are thousands and even millions of people who have had it far worse than you have, who have gone on to do wonderful things with their lives. And what thousands and millions of others have done, you can do as well if you try. Baby girl, just try. Just try. It has been said that if people put as much energy into achieving their goals as they spend making up excuses for failure, they would actually surprise themselves. But first, you have to vote yourself off the highland of someday hell. Subtopic: humble beginnings. Very few people start off with many advantages. Personally, I did not graduate from high school. I worked at laboring jobs for several years. I had limited education, limited skills, and a limited future. But then I began asking that question: why are some people more successful than others? This question changed my life. Over the years, I have read thousands of books and articles on the subject of success and achievement. It seems that the reason for these accomplishments have been discussed and written about for more than 2,000 years in every conceivable way. One quality that most philosophers, teachers, and experts agree on is the importance of self discipline. Discipline is what you must have to resist the law of excuses. Discipline is what you must have to resist the law of excuses. It is self discipline that enables you to vote yourself off the island. It is the key to a great life, and without it, no lasting success is possible. The development of self discipline changed my life, and it will change yours as well. By continually demanding more from myself, I became successful in sales and then in management. I caught up on my schooling and took an MBA degree in my 30s, wow, which required thousands of hours of determined study. I imported Suzuki vehicles into Canada before anyone else, set up 65 dealerships, and sold $25 million worth of the vehicles. And this is all after I had started with no knowledge of the industry. What I had, however, was the discipline and determination to learn what I needed to know and then apply what I needed to do. I got into real estate development with no knowledge or experience. Applied the power of discipline, which was then backed by hundreds of hours of work and study. I then went on to build shopping centers, industrial parks, office buildings, and residential subdivisions. With self discipline, I have built successful businesses in training, consulting, speaking, writing, recording, and distribution. My audio and video programs, books, seminars, and training programs have sold more than $500 million in 36 languages and 44 and 54 countries rather. Over the years, I have consulted for more than 1,000 companies and trained more than 5 million people in live seminars and talks. In every case, the practice of self discipline has been essential to my success. I discovered that you can achieve almost any goal you set for yourself if you have the discipline to pay the price, to do what you need to do, and to never give up. Who should read this book? This book is written for ambitious, determined men and women who want to achieve everything that is possible for them in life. It is written for people who are hungry to do more, to have more, and to be more than they ever have been before. Perhaps the most important insight of all with regard to success is that to achieve greatly, you must become a different person. Hmm. We have to reinvent ourselves. That is what it's saying. You have to become a different person. It is not the material things you accomplish or acquire that matter so much as it is the quality of the person you must become. The quality of the person you must become to accomplish well above the average. The development of self discipline is the high road that makes everything possible for you. This book will serve as your step by step guide to becoming a remarkable person who is capable of remarkable achievements. A chance encounter reveals the reason for success. Some years ago, I was attending a conference in Washington, D.C. During the lunch break, I was eating at a nearby food fair. The area was crowded, so I sat down at the last open table by myself, even though it was a table for four. A few minutes later, an older gentleman and a younger woman, who appeared to be his assistants, came along, carrying trays of food and obviously looking for a place to sit. Having lots of room at my table, I immediately arose and invited the older gentleman to join me. He was hesitant, but I insisted. Finally, he sat down, quite thankfully, and we began to chat over lunch. It turned out that his name was Kopmeyer, as it happened. I immediately knew who he was. He was a legend in the field of success and achievement. Kopmeyer had written four best-selling books, each of which contained 250 success principles that had been derived from more than 50 years of research and study. I had read all four books from cover to cover, each more than once. After we had chatted for a while, I asked him the question that many people in this situation will ask. Of all the 1000 success principles that you have discovered, which do you think is the most important? He smiled at me with a twinkle in his eye, as if he had been asked this question many times, and he replied without hesitating. The most important success principle of all was stated by Albert Hubbard, one of the most prolific writers in American history. At the beginning of the 20th century, he said, self discipline is the ability to do what you should do when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. Hmm. You see, whether you feel like it or not, oh my god, I'm sitting pretty on that table. Most of the time, we always want to feel right. That is like one of it. We always want the situation to feel right. I want to be comfortable before I can read. I want to eat chicken before I can go out. I want to have the best fitness wear before I can start that training. You better enter your room and pick any loose free trouser you can lay your hands on and go to that gym. We always want to feel right. We always want everything to be perfect. Everything to be perfect, everything to be right. But here we are being advised that you should do what you should do, whether you feel like it or not. Whether you feel like reading, you have to read. Whether you feel like going to work, you have to go to work. Whether you don't feel like going to your place of business, you have to stand up and go to that place, because it is not dependent on your feelings. It has nothing to do with how you feel or not. If you want to be successful, you don't have to be emotional. You don't have to sit with your emotions or sit with your feelings. Okay? He went on to say there are 999 other success principles that I have found in my reading and experience. But without self discipline, none of them work. With self discipline, they all work. Thus, self discipline is the key to personal greatness. It is the magic quality that opens all doors for you and makes everything else possible. With self discipline, the average person can rise as far and as fast as his talent and intelligence can take him. But without self discipline, a person with every blessing of background, education, and opportunity will seldom rise above mediocrity. Your two worst enemies. Just as self discipline is the key to success, lack lack of self discipline is the major cause of failure, frustration, underachievement, and unhappiness in life. It causes us to make excuses and sell ourselves short. Perhaps the two biggest enemies of success, happiness, and personal fulfillment are first, the path of least resistance, and second, the expediency factor. The path of least resistance is what causes people to take the easy way in almost every situation. They seek shortcuts to everything. They arrive at work at the last minute and leave at the first opportunity. They look for get rich quick schemes and easy money. Okay. Over time, they look to develop the habit of always seeking an easier, faster way to get the things they want rather than doing what is hard but necessary to achieve real success. The expediency factor. which is an extension of the law of least resistance, is even worse when leading people to failure and underachievement. This principle says people invariably seek the fastest and easiest way to get the things they want right now, with little or no concern for the long term consequences of their behaviors. They always want to damn the consequences. It is about now, 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 now. I want it now. Fast food. In other words, most people do what is expedient, what is fun and easy, rather than what is necessary for success. Every day and every minute of every day, there is a battle going on inside of us between doing what is right, hard, and necessary. Like an angel on one shoulder, or doing what is fun, easy, and of little or no value, like the devil on your other shoulder. Every minute of every day, you must fight and win this battle with the expediency factor and resist the pull of the path of least resistance. If you truly desire to become everything you're capable of becoming, take control of yourself. And this is where we're going to be stopping for today. Another definition of self discipline is self mastery. Success is possible only when you can master your own emotions, appetites, and inclinations. People who lack the ability to master their appetites become weak and dissolute, as well as unreliable in other things as well. Self discipline can also be defined as self control, your ability to control yourself and your actions, control what you say, control what you do, and ensure that your behaviors are consistent with your long term goals and objectives. This is the mark of the superior person. Discipline has been defined as self denial. This requires that you deny yourself the easy pleasures, the temptations that lead so many people astray, and instead discipline yourself to do only those things that you know are right for the long term and appropriate for the moment. Self-discipline requires delayed gratification, the ability to put off satisfaction in the short term in order to enjoy greater rewards in the long term. I remember when I was in secondary school and when I would have my long reads during weekends. And I've always been a fan of books right from my childhood. And there's this, I read trilogies. If you are a fan of novels, you know all these trilogies like part one, part two, part three. So any novel I seek novels like trilogies so that I will read them for a long time. So whenever I want to read over the weekend, especially those bulky notes, biology, geography, and I'm looking at my novel like it's inviting. But I know that I need to read my geography notes, I need to read my biology notes, I need to do some mathematics, I need to work some maths. So I'll tell myself that you know what, let's I'll bargain with myself that okay, if you can give yourself 5 hours, sit down with your book and read between 4 to 5 hours, then you can have 2 hours of your favorite book, right? So I delay the gratification of reading my favorite novels for the joy of reading my geography notes, reading my biology notes, so that I'll be able to sit and pass my exams. And I won't be looking blank during tests or during exams. And that has actually worked for me. There are other areas in our life where maybe we succumb to the pressure of having it now, hanging out with your friends now, going to the party now, going shopping now when you're supposed to save that money. I can't take my eyes off this bag. I can't take my eyes off this shoe. I must get that clothes, right? Why your savings is suffering. And you already told yourself that this year 2025, I am going to save. I'm going to devote time to my books. I'm going to take those certifications. I'm going to reach out to this and this and this to get information about this and this and this. But rather, you're on your social media, you're surfing the internet. Maybe you're like me, you love YouTube. Your YouTube watching videos, or you're on Instagram, you just you're just swiping. So we need to learn how to control ourselves. We need to delay gratification. So our three takes from today's read. Number one, you have to control yourself. Self discipline is self mastery. Self discipline is self control. Self discipline is self denial. Self discipline is delayed gratification. Wow, so we have come to the end of today's episode. I'm so excited. I'm happy that I'm reading this book. Sincerely, it's been a long time coming for me. I also want to learn how to discipline myself, how to stay focused on my goals and my objective. It's a fresh year, it's a new year. This is the second month. Everything is possible if we are determined, if we set our mind on it, and if we're willing to put in the work, right? Yeah, we can achieve it. Let's be positive minded. This year is our year of 1,000 times more, so that we can have 1,000 times income and we can achieve great success and be happy in our life. I want you to click the subscribe button. I want so that you'll be able to get notification, get notified whenever I upload a new episode of our book, The Power of Self-Discipline by Brian Tracy. I want you to like, share, and comment. Yes, I really appreciate your comments. If you've read this book, I want to know in the comment section. If you have a soft copy or hard copy, I want you to pull it out and start reading so that we'll be on the same page. I'm so excited to read this book together with my listeners. And until I come your way on our next episode of Read with Adini, take care of yourself, stay hydrated, eat your fruits and vegetables, don't eat junks, go for healthy meals, cover up yourself, take care of yourself, be happy, and success is already on the way. Bye.